Welcome back to my channel, YouTube. So if you're new here, my name is Brandon. I'm a chef here in Silicon Valley. I create content on the daily, TikTok, Instagram, and then YouTube. So if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, and we're gonna hop right in. So today I wanna talk about sauces. But before we talk about sauces, we need to go back to stocks. I made a basic chicken stock recipe on my TikTok. I'm gonna leave it linked down below. Go check out the video. It's 60 seconds. It'll give you a really good idea on how to make a basic chicken stock. What I'm getting at is now that you know how to cut mirepoix and you know what liquids you should be using, you can take that base recipe and you can make a courge bouillon. You could also make a fish fumet. You could also make a dark roasted chicken stock or a vegetable stock. And that's pretty much it. And you really don't need anything else from there. If you need any assistance, please leave it down below. I'll be here all day. Without further ado, let's talk about sauces. Now, yes, as a chef, do I know the 5 mother sauces? Yes. Are they important? Yes. But I will also argue that in 2022, they're kind of outdated. If you're looking at me right now and you're asking, what the hell are the 5 mother sauces? Bechamel, velouté, sauce espagnole or veal stock or demi-glace. Then we have hollandaise, and then we have tomato sauce. I'm gonna skip over the demi-glace, right? It is the one that takes the longest. A small percentage of you will make that in your career nowadays, so that's why I'm gonna skip over it. I also want to talk about the sauces that are kind of neglected, and that is what I use mostly nowadays, because sauces aren't limited to just those 5 mother sauces. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave my TikTok sauce series down below. These sauces I think are just so much better. What we're gonna start with today is the #1 most important sauce I think is gonna take you far, and that is tomato sauce. And without further ado, we're gonna just get right into the cooking. Let's go. I'm gonna show you how to make a basic tomato sauce. Now, are there different varieties or variations of the sauce? Yes, absolutely. You can add wine, you can add different types of herbs, you can add different types of thickeners, roux, cornstarch. I'm telling you, the options are absolutely endless. But when it comes down to tomato sauce, what is most important? Tomatoes you use, the garlic, the onion, boom, that is it. That is the most important thing. Let me elaborate. I will argue that I like to make tomato sauce with canned tomatoes. If I want canned tomatoes, then I will use whole tomatoes or Roma tomatoes to make this product. I usually don't ever make tomato sauce out of fresh tomatoes. The process just takes too long and it's kind of not worth it because guess what? Cento does it better than us. I like to use San Marzano, but you can use Pomodoro. You could use any type of canned tomatoes you want, depending on the finished result that you require. When it comes to the onion and garlic for tomato sauce, I like to use fresh. Do not use the already prepared stuff. You can use the already peeled, just make sure that it's kind of fresh and it's not like, you know, I think sauces are important, and tomato sauce is, you know, it's 3 ingredients to start, and what's really important is that these are high quality ingredients. Without further ado, let's jump right in. When you're making tomato sauce, size does matter. Remember, whenever you're working, all your mise en place is together, right? So this is a trash bowl. I have a bowl for my finished onions. I have a bowl for my finished garlic. And remember, you don't want crap everywhere. If you are working on cutting onions and you want all you need in front of you, your onion, your knife, your bin that you're going in, that's it. For tomato sauce, it doesn't have to be perfect. Literally do this, then turn the whole pile, and we're just gonna go through it a couple times. If you're making a sauce where you're gonna see the onion in the finished product, then you know you wanna cut it nice. Boom, we have our onion, perfect. Then we just cut our garlic. Same thing, you want this minced. Okay, if you don't have one of these, you wanna get one. Instead of my knife to pick up everything, and always have a few deli cups around. Always go with the whole peeled. Drain out the actual tomatoes. And now what we're gonna do is do our best to try to get the seeds out. Get most of the seeds out and put the tomato back into the liquid. It makes a huge difference. Just take that center piece out. So here's another good example. Cut the tomato in half, open it, and then you'll see all these seeds in the middle here. All you gotta do is just push them out. If you get 1 or 2 seeds, it's not the end of the world. Another fast way to do this would be to just blend and push through a sieved or a china cap. And that way, you know, you don't have to really pay any mind to it. Totally optional. So what I do is I just get in here and use my hands and crush it. And what you'll notice is we have a nice consistent sauce. You could always just hit this straight in the blender. Sweat the onion and garlic, then you're gonna add the remaining ingredients and bring to a simmer. Stir frequently. Add any of the following ingredients at the appropriate time. So some are added early in the cooking process, while others are added near the end so they retain their individual flavor and taste. A good example is like the onions and the aromatics added at the very beginning of the cooking process may be sauteed until lightly cooked, not too much brown, rather than just added. Tomato sauce is not just limited to this. You could also add fresh and or dried herbs, smoked meats, smoked ham bone or pork bone, tomato paste or puree. You could add carrots. You could add a bunch of stuff. I think what's really important for me though is whenever the sauce is finished, I want to taste every single ingredient that I added to the sauce. Especially with tomato sauce, there's so many different varietals. I think what's really important is to start off simple, then build from there. So for this simple tomato sauce, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish cooking it, let it simmer for about 20 minutes, taste it, and then at that point is when I'm gonna add my additional flavorings. For today in this video, I'm just gonna use basil. And as you can see, I have a lot, but what I'm gonna do, you'll see at the end. But feel free to add oregano or anything else you wanna add. I think also what's important is the derivative from tomato sauce is marinara sauce. So if I were making a marinara sauce, I would definitely sweat the onions and garlic in the beginning. And then what I would do is deglaze with a little bit of white wine. And then I would definitely bump up the tomato sauce with dried oregano, also granulated onion and garlic. But that's just a good example of how you can take this tomato sauce to the next level. So after about 15 minutes, what I like to do is just take a hand blender, but on low speed, I'm just gonna puree this a little bit. Then after that, for my application, take some basil leaves. I'm just gonna crush them up and put them in. And I'm leaving them this big because I want to be able to take them back out. I'm gonna let these steep in here for about 10 minutes or so until they're finished cooking and completely dark green. And then what I'm gonna do is just remove them from the tomato sauce because I want that basil flavor. I don't want too much, I just want a little bit. I'm gonna remove it because I have small children and they don't like green. Anyway, at this point you re-season, you can do whatever you want, but this is your base sauce. From here, what I also like to do is I like to make a pizza sauce where you take this same exact type of thing. You can leave it raw, but there's so many different things you can do with this, but this is the basics. Give it a little taste. A little bit more salt. I'm not gonna add pepper to this or sugar. I don't think it needs any sugar, but it's really up to you. It's so subjective. I think what's really important is getting to this base point, getting to this base level, and then being able to make the decision on which way you wanna take it. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. I hope you learned a lot. I'll leave the recipe down below. Next episode, we are gonna be making veloute sauce. This is one of my favorite sauces, so make sure you tune in. Make sure you have your post notifications on. And also, if you're not subscribed yet, come on, hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Let's go.